What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ben. I talk movies, I talk TV, and I talk the entertainment business. If you're new here, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Let's talk about Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine did amazingly well at the box office. I think everyone was expecting that. It's shattering records, no one's surprised. But let's not forget where Deadpool came from and how Hollywood has yet to learn its lesson from Deadpool. Let's take us back 15 years, which seems like a lifetime ago, where no one really knew about Deadpool, right? Like, the general public did not know about Deadpool. Don't get me wrong, he had a comic following, he had a fan base, he was a cult status, but the general public didn't really know who he was. They knew him from this. Yes, remember that Wolverine Origins, when that came out, that was everyone's first introduction to Deadpool. I don't even think people generally knew that he was supposed to be playing a character called Deadpool. I think they just thought he was a guy playing a guy with like samurai swords, honestly. But his real self did come out in the test footage that they were making. Fox set out to make this movie, they wanted to test it, they decided ultimately they weren't going to do it. They didn't want to do an R-rated superhero movie, they didn't want to do it based off of a character that no one really knew about. But of course that test footage leaked. I really hope we get to learn who leaked it one day. Like, I know Ryan recently came out in an interview saying he had a hand with it.
The test footage for the original Deadpool leaked onto the internet. Were you behind the leak?
I mean, I might have provided an assist.
Like, I really hope we find out who he is. Like, if he's on his deathbed later in life, like he's decided he's done with entertainment and he just wants it to be known that he created the Deadpool billion-dollar franchise. That would be awesome. But the leak happened, and then Fox finally was like, yeah, we're gonna let you do this movie, but the budget's gonna be really, really low. A little too low. Like, Ryan Reynolds recently just said that he had to pay the writers to be on set with him. Like, that's ridiculous. Writers don't cost that much. It's an open joke. No one gets paid that well when they're writing. But nonetheless, they made a $60 million superhero action movie. They proved that they could do it with the right team, with the passionate filmmakers, and with a finished script. That does not get enough credit. It was a finished script. I think that script leaked online and I read it before the movie came out, and it was nearly identical. Like, it was fully done. Good job. That never happens anymore. But they proved that they could do it on a small scale, and Hollywood just is forgetting that little fact that you can start something big on a small scale. Like it or not, the MCU changed filmmaking forever, right? Like, once the cinematic universe came out, everyone wanted to establish a cinematic universe. Everyone wanted these movies to be all connected. Everyone wanted to blow $200 million on these movies. Everyone wanted to play in 7 of these movies in a series, and it all just crumbled. Like, even Marvel's gotten a little big-headed with their thinking, thinking they can just get away with anything and they can just blow $200 million on unestablished IP. Like, don't get me wrong, they proved that they could kind of swing and like do these like really risky films. Like Guardians, I don't think would be made today. Guardians was like a big swing. They proved they could do it. Even Iron Man was a big swing, right? But like, they can't do it anymore. They kind of proved that they need to be a little bit smarter and their budgets can't just be overblown. But it's not just Marvel. Like, every single studio is just blowing money like no tomorrow, and they're just not budgeting well, and they're just not planning well either. I get it. Every studio back in 2012 was like, oh cool, this cinematic universe works, let's do that. But like, we still haven't lost that feeling. Like, even though we've seen so many of these franchises die, all these studios are just acting like they can just keep doing it. And they're like, oh no, we'll just reboot it. Yeah, we rebooted it 5 years ago, but now we're going to reboot it again. And we're going to spend $200 million on one movie, and there's going to be 7 of them. And we're going to give you a little nugget of where this franchise is going to go, but you're going to have to watch the 5 sequels in order for the nugget to actually blossom into a flower. Like, Morbius is going to come out, and it's going to set up a brand new franchise, and we're going to tease Sinister Six, which we know we teased Sinister Six back in the day, but now it's back, and it's going to be good. Oh no, we failed. Or Transformers is going to be cool, and we're going to get the beasts again. Only the beasts show up in the last 10 minutes, and like, you're really not going to see the beasts, even though we're going to advertise about the beasts, and we're going to like give you a little nugget of the G.I. Joe crossover movie that we've been planning for like 15 years. Like, it never stops with these guys. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, it's smart to plan. I'm all for planning. I am all for having a game plan. But when you're so focused on the future, you can't focus on the present. And that's what every studio is doing. They're just always looking towards the future. They're just always looking towards their shareholder meetings so they can boost their stock. That's all they give a fuck about nowadays, and it's so... Like, Deadpool seemed like this little movie where they were like, we have one shot. we can do this. If we all just band together, we can make this. Who knows if we'll get another one? Like, this is all we've got. We got to put everything into it, and if it all blows up, at least we have this movie, right? I'm not saying every movie acts like they'll just have a million more. Every movie is hard. Every movie, like, you never know if it's going to be your last. But just with the knowledge that there's going to be more films, it feels like less passion and less work goes into these films because they're just so focused on the future. And Deadpool proved you can make a franchise off of a small beginning. Like, you can have a large ending with a very small beginning. They were very small, $60 million, and now they're blowing up the box office. They've been blowing up at the box office. They've never stopped blowing up the box office. Like, studios, you can do it. Just be smarter. Like, look at John Wick. John Wick was a small little movie no one gave a fuck about. Like, no one gave a shit about that movie when it came out. It was a $20 million action movie. Then it came out and it was like, oh shit, this is awesome. And now, boom, $1 billion franchise. Like, it can start small and just grow from there. You don't have to go all in all the time. You don't have to just assume this one new movie that cost $200 million is going to make $1 billion on its first round go. Like, that's what Deadpool could have taught them, but they're not going to learn. They're still just planning all these movies. They're still just blowing all this money. And like, their budgets are actually more out of control than they've ever been. Like, I'm going to do the video on this later, just how out of control some movie budgets are. But what do you think? Do you think that movies should be smaller, even though they're less spectacle, with like lesser known IP, and grow from there? Or are you okay with the big gamble of these $200 million movies, even though you know you may not get a sequel? Like, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.